The distressing news you recall at the top of the week was over in Benue State, where we heard about renewed attacks on two Benue State local council areas. Okay, so we do have a legislator from Benue State, and in particular the Apagatu Federal Constituency of Benue State. He is Honorable Ojema Ojotu. He joins us from our Abuja studio. A fine morning to you, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yori. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right, then. Well, but I'm sure that the circumstances under which you are here this time are not the best. The general with the insecurity that has been reported in Benue State, well, Benue State is a wide expanse, and your constituency is the Apagatu Federal Constituency. Maybe we should start with, first of all, condolences to all those who reportedly died. Maybe I shouldn't even say reportedly. They did die. 7, in those attacks in the first instance. And now there's some more. Are matters better in your constituency, Apagatu?
Yeah, you agree with me that in the recent time, Benue State has been on the news, but this time around on the case of insecurity. It may interest you to know that I just returned from U.S. when I went for OTC, which is an international event. But in U.S., in my hotel, when I just mentioned to one, I met somebody who is in Nigeria, and I told him, I'm from Benue State. The next thing was, what is happening? What can you do about what is happening in Benue State? So generally, Benue State is actually badly heated, and there's a high level of insecurity. Life of human being has no value, and then people are dying, and then nothing seems to significantly is being done to, arrest the situation. And the case is not different in my own immediate constituency of Apagatu Federal Constituency, where I come from. And then I came to this house since the first day I resumed office till this moment. I've moved not less than 5 motions, drawing the attention of government to the issue of a suspected herdsmen attack. And this attack will usually be carried out broad daylight. While I was also out there, I got information, very shocking information, of the death of the district head of Odubeho, person of Adejo, Chief Adejo, and Comrade Jeremiah from Ugboko. Jeremiah was just buried yesterday. And then Pastor Che, also from Odugbo. And as I speak with you now, if you go to Jantele Ward, particularly a village called Akwete, the people, the herdsmen attack them and then and render them homeless. And as I speak with you, the chief that died from Odubeho, he ran away from Odubeho to Kpo local government for safety. And then right there he went to farm, got a piece of land there, was farming, and he was killed right in the farm with Mr. Jeremiah. And as I speak with you, this is rainy season, and very soon our people have to go to farm massively. And I can tell you for free that everybody is afraid of visiting their farm because of the high level of insecurity. If you go to my place, everywhere is, of course, you see cattle and herdsmen moving, and they will sack community and take position. So it's actually very, very alarming, and that is the situation of Apagatu Federal Constituency at the moment. As I speak with you, it's not different from other constituency within the senatorial zone, and that is even the case of Benue State at large. And that is the present situation, very alarming and quite worrisome.
Okay, when you said in Benue, it appears that life doesn't seem to have any value. Of course, that will be to the marauding, suspected armed headsmen. I'm sure it's a very narrow group because life must have value. So these are the people that are giving this impression. But again, we're not just saying, we're not calling them robbers, we're not calling them bandits. It looks like we're specific about marauding armed herdsmen. So that gives a clue in there that these are the people that are, causing the problems in Benue State generally. I understand that you can't speak for the entirety of Benue State, I would imagine. But what do you think this, especially as we're emphasizing the fact that these are herdsmen, allegedly, maybe I should add, but they're armed. And, the barely 2 days after the suspected attack, as of Monday, we're talking about 23 people killed, and then another 7 that has led us to have this conversation with you. The 7 people in separate attacks in 2 local government areas of Benue, this time Buruku community, and indeed the highway along Makurdi Naka in Gwe West. I hope I'm saying those names right. Gwe West local government areas. So is it a conflict between herders and farmers?
Yuri, let me tell you this for free. When some of us were growing up, even when there were no issue of clash between herdsmen and the community, the common and the local tradition was that if you have your goat, your chicken, your pig, and you want to rear them, you must keep them in such a way, a manner, that it will not destroy somebody else's farm produce. And that law was strictly a local, a primitive, a conventional idea that was respected. But here we have a situation whereby in Benue State, like you know, is the food basket of the nation. And be the food basket of the nation, the major industry for employment there is farming. And people live by farming, and they also farm to also do some commercial activity. And so, and the only thing, the only instrument we have for farming is land. And so these herdsmen, they will come and they want to disarm people. They want to deprive people. They want to take both the land and even the crop away from the people. And taking the crop and the land away from the people is as good as you are taking their life. And so, of course, the former governor, in his wisdom, Governor Samuel Otom, decided to come up, use the Benue State Strategy, came up with what they call prohibition of open grazing in Benue State. And that law is still in place. So the idea here is that it's expected that no matter what it is, whether you are an indigene, whether you are a foreigner, whether you are a visitor, and you come to a place, you should be able to see how you can obey the law of the land. And if the law of the land, which of the highest decision-making body in the state, the House Assembly, if they make a law and pass it and make a law, and then the law stand, and then they prohibit open grazing, and then these people are grazing openly, destroying people's farm, and then they do it with AK-47. And any attempt to challenge them, they will definitely take your life. And therefore, the responsibility of government is to ensure that the law of the land is enforced. And so if there's a law that prohibits or forbid people from grazing openly, which is even a common sense, that if you have reared your cow, you should be able to know that somebody who is farming too have the right to have his farm product protected. So therefore, the government have that duty and the sole responsibility to protect life and property. This farm produce we are talking about is people property. And the life of individual they are taking is what is the primary responsibility of government to protect. So I'm saying that. And government, we have government at the federal level, we have government at the state level, we have government at the local government level. So, and the government, the arm of government that have the responsibility to enforce the government law is the executive arms of the government. And I can tell you for free, any society that laws are not obeyed, and when laws are broken and there's no repercussion, no consequences, I can tell you that that society is heading to total collapse. So I'm calling, of course, the state government and, of course, the federal government who have the responsibility and, of course, in charge of the armed forces to give specific directive that these people should be called to order so that we should have, everybody should have equal access, equal opportunity to live. And then, of course, life and property should be protected. And if government at any given point, they feel that they can no longer carry out that responsibility, then they should give signal so that people should not take their destiny in their hands. And of course, then that will issue of self-defense and issue of even legalizing certain arms should also be discussed. Because as I speak with you, these people move freely with the arm. move freely with AK-47, and then when they see any of our own people moving with knife or even stick to defend themselves, the next thing is the security personnel will rush them, and they'll get them arrested, detain them. But these other people move freely. As if, when we're in school, those days, nobody, we are equal before the law. The law should not be fair to somebody, and then, of course, be unjust to another person. If the other guy have right to move freely with AK-47 without being arrested, without being challenged, I don't understand why the local should also not have the right to move with knife to defend themselves.
Okay.
So the government have its own responsibility to give equal opportunity to people to live, and it's their duty to ensure that the law is enforced. So I'm using this opportunity to call on federal government and the state government to mobilize the security personnel, and they should be very patriotic about carrying out this duty. Because I can tell you for free, Yori, if nothing is done about this matter, people may not know. The issue of this insecurity, and particularly the Fulani attack, is just like setting fire on a bush. You may set fire and you have a target or where you want the fire to consume, but you don't have control over how far the fire can go. You can put fire today thinking that the fire will last for only one day, but I can assure you that the fire can be there for 3 or 1 week. So everybody should know that if this thing is not arrested, even you who think that it is not affecting you directly today, you are the risk. And the highest risk are that. So I'm calling on the federal government, the state government, and all the government machinery, the security personnel, to specifically deal with this issue. The people carrying out this act are known. The allocations are also, it's not hidden. And they don't move in the night, they move in the daylight. And they move very freely.
This is worrying.
The government should live up to responsibility to save the life of the people.
Okay. You've just, in the past in the past minute or so, for the first time, you've, used the word Fulani herdsman, because I was going to ask, and you have also said these people, these attackers are known. You use the word Fulani, so they're not indigents. They're not indigents, how come this has been a protracted problem? It's been a protracted problem. It's almost like it's historical. So, what if they are known? It's gotten so bad that some are saying that the government in Benue is insensitive to the plight of the people. This can only be from a frustration that is deeply felt. If it is felt that government is insensitive, I'm imagining that surely government has to be sensitive, government has to be concerned. But if the people are beginning to speak like this, number one, are we sure that we're dealing here with Fulani, armed Fulani herdsmen, and as you say, actually carrying on in broad daylight? They don't wait for the cover of night. So you make it sound as if they themselves know that they can move about with impunity. This doesn't seem to be a natural or a normal state of affairs. Are you confirming my speculations here?
Yuri, like I told you earlier, when people, when you're a father, and then you have a duty and you have a responsibility to take your children to school and pay the school fees. The moment you don't do that, whatever reason you give to that child, the child may not be able to take it. And so it's the sole duty and responsibility of government to provide security, protect life and properties. So when life and property are not being protected and people are dying, the value of human life is drastically reducing. The way we are talking about the variation of Naira, I can tell you that human life in my own constituency is seriously devalued on a daily basis. And then somebody begin to wonder, we have soldiers, we have police, we have MOPO, we have and all of that. So, and he said, and these people work by directive. Before they take any action, they will tell you that they need to take directive from certain quarter. So we are saying that the government have the duty to give specific directive to ensure that these people who are behind this evil act are brought to book. arrested, prosecuted, dealt with. And by the time 1, 2, 3 persons are being dealt with, they are also human beings. They are afraid of their own life, and they also want freedom. By the time these people are being, brought to book, then I can assure you that there will be fear. People will take their step. Is it a situation whereby you wake up?
Is it an indication of the fear that you're talking about, that you've consistently referred to the attackers as these people and not, armed Fulani herdsmen? Is this part of the problem? I mean, you make it, it's not that you make it. It does seem that people are being very, very careful. Can't it be called what it is if indeed they are suspected to be armed Fulani herdsmen? Then where is the challenge in stating as much, and the authorities themselves know that this is the matter, so that perhaps eyes can be turned in that direction? They have leaders. Why is it like an intractable problem? Nobody can talk to them. Is everybody afraid of them, or are they afraid of the AK-47s, allegedly?
You see, if I've been on this issue of insecurity and attack on my people for a very long time, where you analyze it very correctly, you will just discover that it's a case of, I can say that people, you can see clearly that people fail to live up to expectation. You don't see sincerity, you don't see honesty, you don't see any sign that it's just like in the broad daylight, somebody come and steal, you know the person who steal, and you know instead of going after that person, you begin to look at another direction as if you don't know it. So when you look at it, you can see clearly that there's insincerity, there's lack of commitment. So what I can tell you for free is that these people seem to have support. They seem to have people backing them. And it looks as if certain people are afraid of confronting these people because they have a feeling that the people backing them will come after them. And so I see a lot of compromise. And even on the part of the security personnel, you could see clearly that sometimes you see them helpless. If you have a close interaction with them, it looks as if sometimes from the top, there seems to be a kind of a conspiracy. So it's an issue that the government has to be sincere, government has to be bold, government has to be courageous, government has to be fearless, and have understanding that they have a duty and have a responsibility, and they take oaths to protect life and property of the people. And they have to do that without minding who is involved. Until people are sincere and committed and are courageous and are patriotic, I can assure you that we will not get out of this. Because if you look at it critically, you see a lot of compromise.
Well, you see, these are the very distressing things that you are telling us, and you are actually from the area. Well, Apagatu, Federal Constituency of Benue State. In other words, nobody is telling you about this. Your people are directly affected. But it seems almost like a hopeless case, the way you are stating it. That, look, these people, although you hesitate to use the word, but I think you've actually used it about twice on this program, whereas you've used these people, a score of times. We're talking about marauding Fulani herdsmen who are armed, and they're so sure of themselves that they actually, carry on their dastardly business in broad daylight without any fear. And you said, in fact, you feel, your people feel hard done by. If they were to carry just knives, just bare knives, there will be some people inquiring as to what's going on, why this. But those that are carrying guns, nobody is asking them. And you're insinuating that there is a conspiracy of silence. Is that too strong?
Very well. That's exactly what I'm saying. Conspiracy of silence. You could also, I wouldn't want to, I don't like bringing politics when I'm discussing issue of insecurity. And that's why I'm trying to be very economical with my decision. Because the moment you begin to bring politics...
No, you're trying to be politically correct. You're trying to be politically correct.
Yes.
Okay. But right. Does this hinder getting... to the root of the problem, the fact that we are afraid to even say it like it is. Is this a problem? In fact, you're giving the impression that even the government itself is, afraid.
Yeah, you see, I can tell you for free that, government is a very organized institution, and there's a boundary. By the time you begin to cross your boundary in governance, it will be very glaring. And I'm a lawmaker. We have the law implementator, the people who are responsible to execute the laws of the land. The job of security is purely in the hand of the state government, the federal government, and even the local government, as the case may be. And that is why even in their allocation, there's what they call security vote. And the whole idea of some of this is to mobilize security to ensure that they live up to their expectation. Is to make the law, and when the law is made, the law should be enforced. So what we are saying is that people should be courageous enough when you occupy an office, live up to the expectation of that office without minding who you are marching on. And so, because first of all, when you have this responsibility, you are accountable to God, you are accountable to your conscience, and you're also accountable to the people. So what we are saying that if people are courageous enough to speak out, what I know about this scene, when people are committing crime, there will be, no matter how courageous you are, when you are committing crime, there will be fear in you. By the time somebody is speaking out, I have a background of unionism, and we don't have guns, we don't have cutlass, we don't have money. But we have the courage to challenge the government. When the government is doing something that is wrong, we ask questions. And because they know that we are there to ask questions, there are certain things they will not do. So what we are saying that when you occupy this position of responsibility, you have a duty to speak against some of this evil. You call certain quota. You should be able to take some drastic action.
I hear you.
When people are trying to do certain things, they know that there's a repercussion, they know that somebody is there. But when this thing is happening, and then there's no drastic, and there's no proactive, there's no serious movement toward the direction, then I can tell you that the people will have the liberty, they will even have the courage, they have the impetus, they have the guts to continue to perpetuate this evil. So we are saying that when you are in leadership position, cease to. And I said it again, I don't want to politicize the whole matter, but I can tell you that all this is important to leadership. Because we are in this office to ensure that we protect life and property of the people. And the people are looking up to us. People are not carrying AK-47, but there are people that carry this thing to protect them. But if the government is saying that, no, they don't have responsibility, they can't live up to that, then automatically you're pushing people to that level. And when they get to that level, there will be complete failure of government.
Okay, and God forbid that we get to that stage, because that will be chaos. That will be a complete breakdown. But Ojema, are you saying that government? I mean, you give the impression that government is just, like a proverbial Igala caught within the headlights of a car, frozen out of fear into inactivity. Or will you hand it to the government? Because you've alluded to the fact that people who in authority have their responsibilities and they don't seem to be doing it. Are you saying that these people are just looking on? That is when I say these people, the government. Benue State has a government. It has a House of Assembly. You've spoken about open grazing being against the law. People are breaking that law at random, with freedom and at random. And are you saying that nothing whatsoever has been done? I'm going to come back to you to respond to that. But in the meantime, let me take Elder David, one of our viewers, who has called in. Good morning. I just lost Elder David. So I just clarify that part for me, because any responsible government cannot just sit down. What are the difficulties of government, if any? Government has to be in support of its people. And if its people are dying like this, at the hands of criminal action, no matter how traditional we're talking about, then we're very. You've alluded to the fact that there are police formations, there are military formations, and you give the impression that nobody seems to be wanting to do anything. So I was curious to find out from you, what are the efforts, no matter how inadequate you might think they are, that have been done so far to contain this situation? At least the no open grazing, for instance. Has government been able to confront this situation when they see people grazing their cattle anyhow, as opposed to the ranches that have been set aside for them? Is that what it is? Is it ranches that have been set aside for them that they sort of spurn and prefer to do the same way that their forefathers have been doing it? I'm sorry, but Emmanuel in Lekki has called in. So let me let him speak, and so that you hear his view as well before you now answer. Good morning, Emmanuel in Lekki. Emmanuel, can you hear us? Good morning. Well, okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Ojema. Go ahead and speak to us on the points that I raised. Because
Yuri,
yeah.
If they say there's if you hear there's a crisis in Benue State or in Apagato, the government have the responsibility to declare coffee.
Okay.
And then it will stop every human being from moving.
Okay.
And when that directive is given, the security personnel will carry it out. The governor will sit down and say, no movement.
Emmanuel cannot be there because I called Emmanuel and he didn't respond.
Good
morning.
I am here.
Okay. Good morning, Emmanuel. We called you severally. Okay, yes. I've just interrupted the speaker now. Go ahead, Emmanuel. Okay. How about Elder David? Oh, we lost Elder David. Emmanuel, go ahead, please.
Okay, so my contribution is good morning.
Good morning,
the
sir.
The man on the studio is also pointing his hand to someone that is not on the studio. He has been given an opportunity to speak truth to power, and he's still pushing it. Let everybody say what it is. We all know the problem. Foreign people are coming in. They are using these guys that they want to come and they have their roots, their grazing roots, and their grazing roots across Nigerian borders. So they are not Nigerians. We have law-abiding Fulanis here. Now, when they come in without these guys of using their cows are being roasted, their cows are stolen. Now they want to protect themselves. Now they're looking for green pastures. Now they need to move around. Now they go into someone's farm. The person says, you cannot come in. Please use another route. He says, no, I have the right to use this route. So that is where the government now comes in to say, okay, if this is causing an issue, this is an old way of rearing this kind of cows. Can you please don't use this route to come into Nigeria? Go to another country if you insist. However, those within the country, can you take your cows and put them in a ranch so that those who are coming in with these guys, that is their grazing routes, they will not see that this country doesn't allow this route anymore. Then they will now go to another country. However, within the country, we will not able to manage the cows that we have in the ranches. That is my contribution.
Okay.
The contribution is there are foreign people coming in to do this. So, and they are using these guys of the grazing routes to protect their cows. But the government of the day now needs to put their foot on the ground and stop open grazing.
Okay. Thank you very much, Emmanuel, for calling in with that idea that these are not necessarily Nigerians, that they actually are foreigners. As you know, the Fulani, if we're talking about the Fulani, it's not just a Nigerian affair. I think they're all along the West African coast. So what Emmanuel is suggesting is that, yes, they are Fulani, and yes, they might be, kindred with Fulanis everywhere else, but that these are not Nigerian Fulani. And as he said rightly, we have millions of Fulani here who are law-abiding and who don't identify with this. But he's suggesting that these are foreigners. These are foreigners that are carrying this out. Now, you see, there's a problem here. He's speaking based on what he also thinks I don't know that any investigative panel has been set up to give the truth to what he is saying. But that's an idea that he is floating. I think he is saying that Nigerian people wouldn't do this to their fellow Nigerians. And so it's clear that they have to be foreigners coming from other West African countries, and that they need to be persuaded, let me use that word, let me to be politically correct, need to be persuaded to please go back to your own country. Go back to your own country and continue this. But then we're hearing that in other countries they have been, persuaded to move on. I'm just using the word persuasion. Apparently, if people are very, very firm and very, very stern, they see that the place is uncomfortable, so they move on. It does look, following this conjecture, it does look as if, the people of Benue State are seen as soft targets, and this is where we are now. But give me your commentary on this whole, shall we say, speculation.
Well, I think when Emmanuel started earlier, I thought he was going to say something different from what I've been saying, but eventually he concluded by saying almost the same thing with me. The area I need to put in, I don't talk on speculation. If you notice, I talk with some level of reservation. I can tell you that I know how the whole thing started. I know the genesis of the crisis in our area.
Share it with us.
Now the Fulanis were living there.
Mm-hmm.
The Fulani were living there. Are you with me, Yori?
Yes, I am.
Okay, before now, Fulanis were living with us. They would leave and they would go back and were living very peacefully. And the thing got to a point that there was a kind of disagreement. And then the thing became something else. And so, since that day till now, you begin to see different faces. You begin to see, these people, there's no way somebody will leave a country and appear in Agatu. Before the person come to that place, somebody who lived there before certainly might have contacted that individual. And this is when they come to a place, they have the map, they have the name, and they know why they come to attack most of the time. So you cannot completely say these people are foreigners. And of course, like you say, all of us that are here today, you are aware that if you begin to trace somebody's origin, there's a place you trace it to. But what is very important is that there are people who have decided to be causing this
to be attacking
harm on people,
to be attacking the host community,
and so you cannot
and killing the host community.
Wherever they are coming from, you see material very well, and these people, they know that they rear cow, they have their cow around. So I was giving you a scenario: if human being can be restricted in the name of trying to restore peace and order by government, then I can also tell you that since we know that these people have a business of rearing cow and they move their cow, if they begin to take human life, I can tell you for free that the most precious thing in this entire world is human life. Nothing is more important than human life. The road we are constructing is for human being. The building is for human being. The cars are for human being. There is nothing in this world that is more important than human life. If you are doing a business, you are rearing your cattle, and in the process you are destroying properties, you are killings and all that. The government have a duty to say, let there be an end. Let there be there should be restriction in the movement, and I think that is the essence of the law. The singular thing we are saying is that the government should have the capacity to ensure that that law is enforced. That is what I'm saying here.
All right.
Whichever level of government that have that duty to do that should do it.
Okay. And as
when that is done, then people will be able to learn their lesson. And when they learn their lesson, they should be able to know that, yes, this thing, if we don't restrict a step, this is our business too, will also not progress. That's the kind of point we are trying to make here.
Okay. So, just before I take a break, Ojema Ojotu is a representative. He represents the Apa Agatu Federal Constituency of Benue State. And I think he's saying that his people are dying, being attacked by all of this. And he feels that it could be prevented if people would sort of live up to the expectations of them as leaders, elected leaders. But he told us about people who have had to, traditional rulers who have had to up and flee in the face of marauding armed herdsmen. Yeah. You see, I was trying to pick my words there, armed herdsmen. And let me just follow your lead that we know what's going on. I'm paraphrasing you, but it's like you don't want it to become political, and so you're saying it the way you are saying it, but everybody knows what's going on. Let's take a break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation. It's a very difficult conversation, actually, and maybe we'll get calls from home, maybe get calls from Fulani leaders, get calls from Benue leaders, get calls from people who are neither but are Nigerian and that have information to contribute on this matter. Stay with us, please. Some calls dropped. Elder David called in, for instance, and something happened. That call dropped. But our guest is Ojema Ojotu. He represents the federal constituency, the Apa Agatu federal constituency of Benue State. And we're talking on this whole problem about killing of indigenes in the area, and he has complained that elected leaders, traditional rulers, have not been living up to what is expected of them to sort of speak up. And I think he's also dragged in the state government, he's dragged in the military, he's dragged in the police, that everybody seems to be looking away, according to him. Ojema, Elder David just got back in. Let me take Elder David. Good morning to you, sir.
Dragging the police, but everybody seems to be looking away, according to him.
Elder David, good morning. Elder David.
Thank you, Yori. God will bless you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead.
I'll be asking that my question. Who are these people?
Elder David, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Are you hearing
Please
me well?
ignore those echoes. Yes, I am hearing you.
Well,
please ignore the echo repetition. Continue, sir.
Yori, are you hearing me well? Thank you very much. I said you have been asking this man question. Who are those people? You have been asking a question. Who are those people? Is it the Fulani that have been living with them for more than 100 years ago? You ask me a question. I want him to even reply you. You see, all this political, we should be very tolerant on whatever we are doing. The Fulani, we say herdsmen, they are foreigners. Do they come from up? Without the put there? And if we say it's those people that have intermarriage, who have been living with them for more than 100 years, they have no other home. That's where they have been living. They were born and bred there. Then why can't you mention the particular people? Is it the people when you say they cannot do their own trade, other people have their own? It's not only in Benue. We have Fulani herdsmen. It's all over the whole country. Just as you have Yorubas all over. You have Igbo all over. There is a parable in my place. Anywhere you go in Nigeria, don't say an Igbo man. You know there's something wrong there. It's a tasty Fulani. And let me tell you, we intermarry with other things. And it is okay when the junk and TV marriage happened, the time of Obasanjo. I know what happened. I have all the history. They should be tolerant. When you are mentioning, say, let them create a place for them there, because the time of autumn, it escalates the matter. I won't tell you lies. It brings politics to it because Buhari was in government. Because Buhari is a Fulani man. Is it Buhari that caused? Is it Abuja? It's their own people. Some of the people are involved with all those things. Some of the people are involved with killing all those people, and they say Fulani herdsmen. No Fulani herdsmen come from up and fly down there. They say they are foreigners. It is within themselves there. Let him mention the people concerned. The man talking, the other Tunia, some of them in London and others. We should be very careful. May God forgive us in this country. We should not be playing politics. Look at what is happening in Benue State. Is it not the same thing? The time of Matu and my daddy, you know about that by that time. Is it not the same thing? Because of what is happening in Taraba and other places? So when we are talking, we should be very careful. You are blaming Abuja. It's Abuja in Benue. It's a question I want to ask. They themselves should be tolerant. Let that man tell you who are those people.
Thank you very much.
You so much.
Thank you very much, Elder David. And Ojema Ojotu has said that he wants to be politically correct, which is a bit difficult for anybody who is interviewing him. But he has his reasons. He says he doesn't want to maybe inflame the situation. But back to you, Ojema. What do you say to that particular perspective?
You see, I want to thank Elder David. You know, one of the problems we have in this country, to be honest, is that most of the times we seem to assess. This one will be raising accusing finger on the next person, and this one. And that is why, if you notice, I sit down here, I deliberately refuse to behave as if I am shifting this blame to an individual. I'm talking of government as an institution. I'm not talking of a person. You know, so, and if you notice too, you will discover that sometimes this thing will happen to me. I'm representing the people of Apaga too. And when I got the news of some of this thing, I have sleepless night. But even the people of Apaga too will also be feeling that I'm not even doing what I'm expected to do. That is their feeling. So what I'm trying to say, if you notice what I say, I can tell you that this year I'm very conversant with it. Before now, there were Fulanis that used to come and stay in our place. And they have their lugas. They will stay in that place. When it is rainy season, they will leave and go to their own state. And then when the rainy season is over, they will come back again.
Sorry, Ojema. The point that Elder David was making is that there are actually, Fulanis that have been there over 100 years. In other words, they are part of the community. Even as the other gentleman who called in earlier said that they were foreigners. You see, this is the problem here. When you don't have people of authority who are speaking to you based on research and based on knowledge and based on eyewitness, he was saying that they are foreigners. Elder David said that they are all the same in there. They are members of a community in there, but the thing seems to have gone wrong. Speak to that.
Let me tell you. That's why I say if I want to speak as it affects Apaga to Federal Constituency. In Apaga to Federal Constituency is what I'm telling you. I was born and brought up there.
Okay.
The Fulanis that we have there, they will come to the community for business. They will come in a particular season. And at the end of the season, they will go back. We don't have a scenario whereby you say,
where do they
there
go?
are Fulanis that have come to back.
Where do they go?
Some of them come from Katsina. Some of them come from the half state they come from. They come there for business. And the way they live, they don't live there permanently. They live just like you are. There's a place that you can go for fishing. And then when you go there, fishing is a seasonal thing. When you finish fishing, you go back. That's the scenario in my constituency. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
And so when they come for grazing. And when they stay is
Apa Agatu, not all of Benue State.
Very well. Yes, I'm talking for Apa Agatu. And when they come for grazing, they usually come during the dry season. Because we have what they call riverine area. And then during the rainy season, they can't stay there because the whole place will be covered by water. So when it's rainy season, they will leave. When it's dry season, they will come. And when they finish, they will go. And we look forward to that day they will come. And when they go, we also notice it. And these people live peacefully. They don't destroy somebody's property. And it got to a point, I am telling you that it got to a point that there were crises. And then at the end of the day, I can tell you for free, is these same people that also, at the end of the day, bring certain people in. So when you are saying somebody is a foreigner, somebody is this.
You're confusing me. These same people that bring certain other people in. Do you mean other Fulanis that are not Nigerians? Which other people?
I don't know I can't tell you. I cannot tell you where these people are coming from.
Okay.
If I tell you that I know this one is coming from Cameroon, this one is coming from this place, I may be lying. Because these people are not people who come to display their identity. They are not people who come to say this is where we are coming from.
Okay.
But all we know is that we have a relationship with people. And they are at a point, there seems to be a disagreement. And then you begin to see a lot of people coming, attacking you. And you cannot begin to profile those people. And say, these people who come, these are from so and so place. That's a clear picture. And I wouldn't want to say what I don't know when I'm talking to in a television like this.
So you are speaking for the Apa Agatu Federal Constituency, your constituents there.
Very well.
Okay. Ade in the UK has been holding on for quite a while. Apologies for that. Ade, please go ahead now.
Hello?
Hello, Ade in the UK. Good morning. Please go ahead now.
Hello, Mr. Yori. I can't hear you at all, so we have to do something about your studio audio.
Okay.
If you are hearing me,
yes.
Now, my own point is this. I don't want us to... This is an emotional situation because the family of the people that have been killed, they are the ones that will feel the pinches. You understand? In Jos, some of our churches in Jos, they killed the minister of God, they killed the children, they burned everything down.
Who?
And
who killed? Who is doing this killing? You see, please, sir, who do you think or know is doing these killings that you are illustrating?
These are criminal herdsmen. There's nothing to call. It's a criminal herdsman. So
okay. Criminal herdsmen.
Those states, this is like time of my former governor, late Akeredolu. You know what he did now? We caught so many of them. Some of them are jailed in Akure. It's a criminal herdsman.
Okay.
You understand? They even kidnapped the APC chairman last week. They are demanding for 100 million now. It's a herdsman. Nobody.
You're up to date with the news.
It's happening everywhere.
These are
so
herdsmen.
Now somebody is defending them. It's too emotional for someone to just say, there is nothing, there is nothing. Let him happen to the person. Then we know the feeling. When they kill family, this is an emotional situation.
Okay.
This is a criminal herdsman that killing people everywhere because they want to roar their cow. What is wrong is wrong.
Criminal
herdsmen. Let us deal with the emotional.
Okay.
It's an emotional situation. We have our pastor killed in Jos. I have my people in Ondo State kidnapped by Fulani herdsmen. What are you talking about?
Actually, you two are alternating between criminal herdsmen and Fulani herdsmen. Okay. You two are alternating.
I don't like hypocrisy.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Ojema, did you want to add to that?
Very well.
Did you want to add to that? Because you could see...
He
too was being careful.
With me that the man is saying the same.
He's being very careful. He's calling them criminal herdsmen.
Yeah, and I say suspected herdsmen. And that I use that word because, like I told you from where I'm speaking from. So the thing is that we are saying the same thing.
Okay.
Yori, all of us, we are saying the same thing. There's nobody that can stay somewhere here and begin to say, oh, the Fulanis are criminal. You can't say so. There are some people who are actually reading this cow there that are actually genuine. But what we are trying to say clearly is that when these people are known, when this attack is carried out, sometimes they make phone call before they come. They will even tell you that they are coming at a particular time, and they will come. And when this thing happens, I'm happy the man said that the people were arrested, jail and all that. What we are saying is that the government should live up to that responsibility. Okay. The government should be proactive. The government should leave these people at the board. That is the point we are making. Well, the man said he practically somebody said to me.
That part of it, is spot on because as I was saying, people are dying. 23 people were killed in the first instance. That was big news. And as of Monday, within 48 hours, we have another 7 people killed again. All of this in Benue, in various parts of Benue. Just by the way, are we saying that there are no Benue cattle herdsmen?
You see, I will always tell you, when you talk about rearing of cattle, it's actually a business. And this business is not commonly done by Benue people. Okay. And what we usually do those days that I know, if you rear cow is not the type that you take your own, even right from when we were young. They will tell you that if you are rearing your goat, your chicken, whatever you are rearing, you have a duty to make sure that you restrict their movement.
That's
People usually do something, maybe something like a mini ranch within their community compound and keep them. But for you to begin to move with this, we are not into that. Particularly in Agat, where I'm coming from, I don't know anybody who rear cow, who go about with it from one farm to another. Okay. So it's not our kind of business.
All right. So, Honorable...
And even if we do it, we'll do it with that consciousness.
So, Honorable Ojema Ojotu, what you are saying is that you give me the impression that you have been let down by government in Benue State and also the authorities. Unfortunately, we don't have spokespeople for the government in Benue State to tell us their side of the story. But you are giving the impression that, look, I might be representing the Apa Agatu Federal Constituency of Benue State, but I'm trying here to just, speak for my people. And what I'm saying is that more could have been done to protect people generally in Benue State. That seems to be your outing today, that you are disappointed with the attitude of the authorities who have the coercive, coercive power of state to prevent some of these things happening, not doing so.
What I'm saying in a clear term is that, when I came, I said I'm speaking as it affects my people. And what I am saying is that government as an institution have a duty and responsibility of protecting life and property. And they are not doing that duty. We are talking about.
They are not performing that duty.
I'm saying that this very well. And government have arms, where we are into 3 arms of government with different responsibilities. So I'm saying that the security personnel who have the direct duty, the executive arms of government who have the responsibility to give the directive, they should be courageous enough, they should be proactive enough, they should be bold enough to take certain action that will be able to deter some of these people from continue in this business of taking human life as if there's no value for human life.
Okay, Honorable Ojema Ojotu, you've had your say. Thank you very much for making yourself available and for bringing this to, the attention of the entire country and even in diaspora. Ade in the UK, he called in from the UK. So everybody, a lot of people have heard this now, and we hope that progress can be made and we end up where we don't have these distressing headlines of 23 people killed, 7 people killed. Even the last news was that 7 people were killed, and there was supposed to be a young girl among them. Thank you very much for coming on and bringing this to attention of the country.
You really let me use your station to use the opportunity to send my sincere sympathy and condolences to the people of Benue State, the family that lost their loved one, particularly that of Apa Agatu, and of course the recent one, that of Udugbeho, Comrade Jeremiah, Pastor Oche, and so many other persons, Akpete people that were disarmed and Agatu people. I want to let them know that I'm their leaders and I have a duty and responsibility to continue for them, and I love them. And the greatest and the worst situation I can find myself is to watch and see my own people being killed and being destroyed, being rendered homeless.
Okay,
and I'll continue to speak I'll continue to do whatever that I need to do to make sure that thank you very much, Yuri, for this opportunity.
Okay then, Honorable Ojema Ojotu, representing the Apa Agatu Federal Constituency of Benue State. We're going to have to leave it there now, especially if the government wants to get back to this particular subject to, add to it. We'll be delighted to